Welcome to the Gen X Pole Arts podcast, Fit, Fierce, and Fearless. I am Zen, also known as Nancy Adzentovich, the founder of Gen X Pole Arts. I am happy to be launching this podcast where we are going to be celebrating the strength, resilience, and potential of women over 40 in the vibrant world of pole dance. I'm excited to embark on this empowering journey with you guys. And each week, we will connect with inspiring women who are redefining what it means to thrive in their 40s and beyond. From incredible stories of personal transformation to tips on building strength and confidence, we'll explore the boundless possibilities that pole dancing offers for self-expression and empowerment. Whether you are a seasoned dancer or just curious about the journey, there's a place for you here. So grab a cup of coffee, a sparkling water, whatever turns you on, and get comfortable. Let's celebrate the incredible power of women who are embracing their passions and pushing boundaries at every age. All right, now let's dive into today's episode. Welcome to the Fit, Fierce, and Fearless podcast, episode 42. I'm Zen, your host. You guys know me. And today I am so privileged and extremely excited to have a guest who I've been hoping to have the opportunity to speak with for quite a while. She is Mary Caryl. Hi, Mary. Welcome to the podcast. So happy you're
Thanks for
here.
having me. I'm happy to be here.
Oh my gosh. So I've wanted to have you on the podcast since even before your article in the newspaper, and then when kind of you were everywhere. Um, when was that? Like the spring?
No, that was October a year ago. It was
A
actually
year
just
ago.
a year ago. Yes.
Wow. Okay. So, Mary, if you guys listening or watching aren't familiar with Mary, she's already famous in the Los Angeles pole community. And then last year, there was an article about her in the New York Times or the LA
No, it was in the
Times?
LA Times.
The LA
LA
Times.
Times.
And I
Yeah.
actually read it on Yahoo News or something. I don't know, or it was came up in my Facebook feed or something. And I was like, what? Oh my gosh, this is so cool that they did a piece. Um, and then we had the opportunity to work together in the comedy pole show twice.
Yes.
We did the Hogwarts Harry Potter one, which was so fun.
Oh my gosh.
Um,
We have to do that again.
I hope we do. I hope we
Yeah.
do. And Christina has been on the podcast. So everybody listening, you guys know Christina Calf and the Comedy Poll Show because I talk about it all the time. Mary was the superstar of the first comedy poll show that I did, or no, I think it was the second one. Was it the Valentine's Day one?
Yeah, that was a Valentine's Day one. And I guess one of the comics didn't show up and they were supposed to be after me. So I ended
Ah,
up closing the show. That's what happened. And I guess everybody liked the act. So yeah, I got a nice response from the audience. Uh-huh. Yeah.
putting it
Yeah.
lightly, yes, everybody went wild. Of course,
Yeah.
you're amazing. And then Professor Trelawney,
That
is
was
that
my
what it was?
character.
Yeah.
The funny thing, Christina had called me and she said, do you know Harry Potter? And I go, well, yes. One of my kids had read it, the whole thing, like twice. And so
Uh-huh.
he was very familiar with it. And I have the books here, and it was missing volume one, which is why I never read it. So I thought, well, I'll get volume one because she's asked me to be in it. And I thought, okay, I got to figure out who these characters are. So I'm now on volume four. Yeah, yeah, it's kind of nice bedtime reading. Yeah, and,
Oh,
and when I travel, I always joke and I tell the people they ask me to check my bag. And I say, okay, but don't worry, Harry Potter's not in the bag. He's right here, so you won't have little shenanigans in the cargo. Little wizards and
that's so
witches
sweet.
popping around everybody's suitcases, stealing lingerie and whatever else is down there. Yeah, they always laugh. They gotta laugh.
That's so cute.
Oh.
Yeah, so you did your research into your
I
character. I love it.
did. And yeah,
That's why it
actually,
was
my
so
son
good.
had kind of suggested the character for me because I told him, well, these are the characters that are taken. And I listed them
Mhm.
off. And he said, well, maybe Professor Trelawney, because she's, kind of a character with those Coke bottle glasses and just the
Yeah,
stuff. So I looked into her, and she wears colors that I never wear. She wears earth tones, and I
yeah,
never wear earth tones. But I have this stash of fabric, and one of the pieces had been given to me, and it was a brown, stretchy fabric. And then I had some fringe with brown and gold, and so I created the dress. And it was just, I don't know, it was just fun. And then I had this shawl that a friend had given me, and it was in the turquoise muted colors. So the
mhm.
piece was starting to come together because for me as a dancer, I remember years ago an instructor saying to me, "You always think of the costume first, don't you?" I go, "Yep, I sure
Yeah,
do." And then I go backwards from once the costume is done, then I can fill in the blanks because now I've got a visual for myself. So
yes.
I've always done that. Costume first and then the rest of it.
Yep, I do
Yeah.
that too.
Oh,
Most people
good.
start with the choreography. Yeah,
I,
I always do the costume first and then the music. And then I
oh,
do, because for me, like you're saying, that gives me the context of the character. And then
yes.
whatever the routine is going to be fits within that.
Yeah. Well, I used to do work as an image consultant years ago. And
Oh,
I know it's so interesting that I still find myself. I remember back then I would always say to people, well, there's no right and wrong image, but you have to ask yourself, is my image doing for me what I want it to do? And then
uh-huh.
if you answer no, then that's time to say, okay, open the door to change. Because let's see what you want it to do and kind of create, because the first impression, the visual tells volumes. And
Yeah,
people, right or wrong, and you have to make an initial first impression. You just
sure.
do. And if somebody looks not friendly or whatever scary, then you might walk on the other side of the street or down a different
Mhm.
aisle or whatever. So you want to kind of go, well, what do I want, and how is my image going to help me to get that? And it's the same thing when you apply it to stage. It's like,
Mhm.
what, because we know when we go out there on stage that the audience first sees what we look like before they see
Yeah,
what we do. Or
yes.
we don't really talk much in our pieces, but if we were to talk, what we say, they see what we look like, then what we do and say. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's very powerful, that um, costume, that image, that look.
Yeah, I thank you for saying that because sometimes I
Yeah.
feel like the strange one because that's so important to me in the beginning. Yeah,
Well,
I
I'm
love
glad to have company in that too. I thought maybe I
it.
was a strange one, but yay.
Yeah. So, well, okay, before we get too far down the rabbit hole, do you want to introduce yourself to the people listening who might not know who you are?
I will give it a go. Let me see.
Okay.
At my age, it gets a little complicated because you've done a lot of stuff. So there's a lot of little this and that's in an intro. My name is Mary Caryl. Giltner, Saratella. I grew up in North Dakota, moved to Tucson to go to school, U of A, and then came out here to California for a job years ago. Met my first husband. We had 3 kids, got divorced, we're friends. He comes to Christmas dinner. Got
Oh.
married again, have a stepson in addition to the 3 kids. I love to do things with my hands. I love to make candy at holiday time. So, yes, I just made a batch of salted caramels before the interview today.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. So the candies, oh, and the fun thing about it is my dancer friends love to come over and help me package them. But it went from about, let's see, in 2008, there was a crash, and my daughter was working at CBS, and she and I loved the caramels. So I taught
Mm.
myself to make them. And then I gave them to her to put them in the lunchroom. And she writes me an email. She says, Mom, everybody wants to buy these. Do you sell them? Oh, no, I don't sell them. She emails me back. Okay, Mom, here's their orders and here's what they're going to pay.
Yes.
So I thought, well, okay. So I was like Lucy in the Chocolate Factory and made lots of different varieties. And it was like, oh my God, how am I going to get all these candies? Well, they went into the boxes and I could have used more candies. And it was just like, whoa. And every time the phone rings out, back then we had landlines that we used. It was
Yes.
somebody who'd gotten a taste of it and they wanted to order more. So
Wow.
I was so busy. I was up till midnight because I can't go to bed with a messy kitchen
Yeah.
and then get up in the morning and go, oh my God. No. So yeah, but all kinds of different varieties. It was just I can't even begin to list some peanut butter, nougat and caramel, and then a hint of chocolate double mint. Oh my God, that's so good. Creamy ones.
Wow.
Yeah. Honey vanilla. Oh gosh, mocha. Yeah, and then
Wow.
French almond nougat. Yeah, there were all kinds of them, and I that's just the tip of the iceberg with it. But
Amazing.
yeah, and then that yes, so that I love to do, and then also to of course design clothes and make clothes. So yeah, sometimes I wonder if it's a blessing or a curse.
Well, what do they say about idle hands, right? So
Yeah,
you're always busy. Yeah.
yeah.
That's so
Yeah, and I have four pets, two female cats. They're sisters. They were populating my yard in between
oh,
standard poodles. We've had now on our fourth and fifth standard poodles.
wow.
And so, yeah, so we did a kitten rescue for about a year and a half of 17 kittens. I homed them
Oh,
all. I could have used more kittens because I had more homes for them. And I
wow.
kept the two young mamas, and then we added Julia, who's now three standard poodle, and Holly, who just turned one standard poodle. And so they
Oh,
all get along, they kiss and hug, and I don't know why
cute.
how that happens, but you know, they keep me busy. Yeah.
I
And then of
bet.
course I pole dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't forget about that, which is
No.
truly a passion and something that I never expected to start in my late 50s, but I did. Yes.
So how old were you when you started?
57. Yeah.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
55 right now.
Oh,
I
you're a
started when I
young
was
man.
50.
Yeah.
And okay, so you started when you were 57. How old are you? I know you recently had a
Yeah, I
birthday.
know. I'm
Right?
72. I didn't used to like to tell my age only because I didn't want people to watch a performance and think, oh, she's so many years old. Wow. I wanted them to just
Mhm.
like the performance or not.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was why I wasn't out there with my age, but the article made me do it.
They outed you for
Yeah.
sure.
It
I know.
outed me.
Otherwise, I wasn't going to just ask you so bluntly like that.
No. Yeah.
I know I felt like that when I started pole dancing, but then when I started this Gen X pole arts thing, this concept, I figured I really want to inspire other women over the age of 40, so 40, 50, 60, 70, 80s to try new things and try pole dancing. I think there's so many benefits to it. There's the community, it
Yes.
keeps you
Yes. The
physically well. I
friends.
think there's
Yes.
mental, it keeps
Mhm.
you mentally sharp because we're doing hard things and we have to remember choreography and
Yes.
hand-eye coordination and connecting with the music. And yeah, so I said, well, I guess I need to say my age then because how
Yeah,
else? Like
we
I
gotta
want
know
people
what's
to
holding
relate.
us on the pole, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so we don't fall
Oh
on
my
our
God.
little bottoms.
Yes, I know. It's a real motivator to become stronger so that you don't fall or get
Yeah,
hurt.
well, also it's knowing because as you go from one position to another, y- what is holding you to the pole. So I always say crash mats are our best friend, and don't be shy to use them because
Yeah.
it lets you explore more.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, you are very daring. Like you're very brave. You do a lot of difficult tricks, a lot of inversions and complicated tricks that require strength and flexibility. And I've seen you doing full splits backstage, getting warmed up and over
Yeah.
splits. I think I saw you do. And I was like,
Yes.
I'm not
Yeah.
even doing that. So were you always a dancer or do you have a
Mm,
gymnast background or what is
Not
your background?
Not really. I grew up in North Dakota, as I said earlier,
Mhm.
and we didn't. compete, but I did take a little gymnastics in high school. I would perform
Mm,
at basketball games for halftime. But
okay.
because we didn't compete, it doesn't really push you to get better. The
Yeah.
flexibility part always came so easily for me. The strength thing, I had to earn that. Oh, yeah. That did
Yeah.
not come naturally. That was hard. And um, I found out years later because I've had a hip replacement almost 6 years ago.
Wow.
That,
Okay.
yeah, I know. So yeah, you can get beyond it. My surgeon is like, you've exceeded me and my team's wildest expectations.
I bet.
So,
I bet they never would have guessed what you
yeah,
would be
but
doing, what you would be doing. Yeah.
like many flexible dancers, and there are other pole dancers who've had it done, and gymnasts, many of us were born with mild hip dysplasia, which is like
Mm.
putting a tire meant for a Volkswagen inside of a truck, and it whirls around and around and around, is happy until it gets jammed. And then
Oh.
that's when there starts to be a problem. I remember the day that it got jammed, but I do think it was an accident waiting to happen. It just had to
Mhm.
happen at some point. And so it's all fixed for the most part. Your artificial hip is never quite the same as your natural, but like my surgeon said, and he was only 36 or so at the time, so I
Oh,
picked a
wow.
young one. I said, At least he can see what he's doing. You know what I mean?" Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, get in there, like, got his, no, that's gonna connect to there. It's connected all right, you know. But so he did a great job, and he said, I've done my work, now you need to do yours. And he forbid me to do anything for 12 weeks but walk. No
Oh,
PT, no nothing, because he thought that I was gonna do something crazy and like try to stretch it. Yeah, but I wouldn't have, not if he told me not to. And
yeah.
so at the end of the 12 weeks, I said to he and the nurse, I said, I am so stiff. And they are like clapping their hands and yay. And I'm like, are you crazy? Because that's what we wanted, was you to get really stiff, because we want to make sure that thing is in there good and solid.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's a long
eventually,
time to do nothing, 12 weeks.
yeah, well, mine actually happened at the best time possible. It was right in the beginning of 2020. So it was right around the lockdown time. And
Okay.
then I had an extended 3 months of not being able to get back into the studio. So we resurrected the pole, which is here in this room. And I started in with that. And I remember, and now I'm going to give people a little hint here on something for all their jades, all their stretching and everything, because I never knew this. But my neck started getting stiff, and I would be like this, and even my son-in-law would say, "Oh yeah, your neck is stiff." I go, "Yeah." I couldn't figure out why, and then I went to a very good masseur out in San Marino, and he said it's your longissimus muscle, which goes from your neck down to your glute. And what was happening when I was doing the splits and doing the leg openings, I was pulling from all along my back, the spine, the muscles on either side of the spine.
Mhm.
And so that was causing the stiff neck. So he massaged it out, solved the problem, and then I was able to, at home, continue with the individual balls to massage
Yeah.
first one side and then the other, not the peanut that goes like this, but you
Yeah.
want to zigzag along it, because when you want to open up your jade and you think it's your hamstrings or something,
Yeah.
it's your back, because
That
a
is
jade, yeah, a jade and many other splits are actually mini back bends. They are
wow.
mini back bends because your back has to release in order for you to flop those legs open into
Mhm.
that beautiful flat jade.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mary, I'm gonna try this because
Yeah.
I don't have a flat jade and I don't have a flat split on the floor either, but I feel like my hamstrings are very open and
Yeah.
it drives me nuts, but my back and my neck are always tight. Always,
Well,
every day.
here's something you can
That could
try.
be
When you
why.
when you go into your pancake, is your back flat to the floor,
Yes.
or are you in a C curve? So it's flat?
No, I keep my back flat, but I'm not all the way on the floor.
Okay, see, so that would be a C curve, because there's really three positions in exercise or stretching of the back. It would be C curve, flat back, and arch. So
Mhm.
C curve a lot of times is where we go to get into the stretch, flat back, and then we arch to make it beautiful. And that's when you
Yeah.
get actually into a move, because you may use a C curve to get into it, then you go through flat back and then arch to bloom the move. So it looks pretty. Because if
Yes.
you're doing a spatchcock, for example, and your back is in a C curve, it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be ugly, even if you
Right.
get into it. Yeah. So you
Yes.
want to think of those positions and then getting the pancake flat onto the floor and then bringing your chest up so that you're actually creating that slight little back bend on the floor.
Yes. That's my goal. I'm not
Yeah,
there,
you'll
but
do it.
I'm going to work on it with the balls on my back.
Yeah,
I
low
have
bar.
them,
Mhm.
um, because that is always a challenge for me is the getting my back to release. It's just
Yes.
always, it's a little
Long,
better because I've been doing
long,
dance,
longissimus muscle. It's the longest
longissimus
muscle in the
muscle.
body. So look it up and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's
I
on either
will.
side of the spine and it feeds into the glute, which feeds into the hamstring. And a lot of times we work on the hamstring a lot and then we ignore everything else that's feeding into it.
Yes. I think we don't think about how everything is connected.
Exactly. You got it.
Yeah. That's really cool. Well, thanks for sharing that. Have you always been interested in like anatomy and physiology? Or you just seem like you have a
No.
curious mind and you like to learn.
Oh, I do. I have a very curious mind. I'm always liking to learn new things of all types of stuff. But no, not particularly. I mean, my dad was a doctor, so we
Okay.
grew up with that in the household. And one of my sons is an ICU nurse, so I've got that too. But
Wow.
I'm not any more interested in anybody else, I think. And then when we start to do this, and you start to think about maybe if you have an injury or what was injured, and then you might dig a little bit and start to look into some of the stuff. But it is interesting. And I also believe greatly in the body's ability to heal, mind
Mhm.
over matter as well. I mean, you have to
Yeah.
have a positive attitude about your injury or situation, whatever it is, to do the
Yes.
best that you can and
Yes.
to kind of not think in what I can't do, but think in terms of what I can do. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that advice because, especially as pole dancers, we do get injured or we pull something and we need to rest and let our bodies recover. And it can be really easy to get depressed and gloomy about it because we all want to be in the studio and we see our friends and, you know, studio mates or whatever progressing and doing things and we get FOMO.
Well, the other
Yeah.
thing is that we want to think of it as always up, 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 up. But it's not.
Yes.
It's like up and then we level off and then you might go down a little bit, level off and then come back
Yes.
up and then so it zigzags. It doesn't just go straight up. And then the other thing that we have to contend with is that every day that we wake up, we're a day older than we were the day before. And the body needs naturally ages. I like to think about it, I've said this before, but this is to me, I love this. If you think about a rosebud is like the child, the young and tender, and then it blooms and it becomes beautiful, and maybe that's the young adult. And if we take care of that bloom, now it can last longer and continue
Mm.
to bloom and look beautiful for longer. But eventually it is going to go shrivel and eventually die. So that is what happens to us, but we want to keep the bloom longer. So
Mm.
that's the goal is to, give it the things that it needs, the nourishment, the environment, everything to keep that bloom longer.
That's a beautiful analogy.
Yeah,
Really pretty to think about life in that way.
yeah.
What do you find is helpful to keep yourself in that blooming state? do you, besides, so I know you're very active, but are there other things like
Yes,
nutrition or
yes,
supplements?
yes. Well, first of all, the top four things. Number one, drink a little more water than
Mm,
you are. Just add a little bit more because most people live a little dehydrated. Secondly, move, which we do. We move as pole dancers, so we probably covered that one. Third, be happy. And if you,
mm,
obviously things are going to be negative at some point, and doesn't mean you can't be sorrowful for the
sure.
incident or whatever. But if you have filled your toolbox with happy things, then you have something to pull from when something is not so good. So you know how to
Mm,
get back to happy. Because, a depressed person is of no good to themselves or to anybody else. And
yeah.
then I added the fourth thing, and that is be generous. And the reason I
Mm,
added that was that actually we're the beneficiary of being generous because it
yeah.
feeds our soul. It doesn't have to be money, although if you have money, it can be money. It can be, opening the door for somebody, smiling at somebody in the grocery store, having a nice conversation at the post office. It can be, lending a listening ear to somebody who needs to be heard.
Yeah.
Generosity comes in a lot of forms. It can
Hmm.
be cleaning out your closet instead of throwing it out, finding another home for it, rehoming some of those things that you no longer need. So there's lots of ways to do it without it being a monetary thing. But aside from that, I do believe in taking care of your skin. That's the
Mm,
largest organ in your body, and you must protect it. I remember when I was 21, my girlfriend's mother took us into one of the department stores and we started on a skincare regimen. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I probably won't know until I'm 50 if this stuff works. So, but it was the fact of getting a nice, good quality skincare regime and
mm,
being faithful to it, that
mhm.
really has helped me with my skin as I have growing older. So, and of course, sun is not our friend. We need very little of it, need a little bit, but we get it pretty much naturally.
Yeah.
You want to, I've always encouraged women to wear makeup because makeup is like, if you have an owie on your hand, you put a band-aid on it, and then a
Mm,
few days later, you take the Band-Aid off. The skin underneath is so much softer than the
yeah.
surrounding skin. That's because it's been protected. So the makeup is like a protection that you wash off every night. So
Mm,
even if you have, many times I hear, well, I have good skin, I don't need makeup. Oh, well, let's rethink that because you need it because if you want to age well, you want to protect your skin. So the
yeah.
makeup is going to hold your good skincare in. Listen, the skin absorbs things. If it didn't, there wouldn't be such a thing as a nicotine patch or any other
Mm,
kind of patch because the
yeah.
skin absorbs things. So you should choose what it absorbs. Good quality skincare creams or whatever, serums, whatever you put on, good quality makeup.
Yeah.
Choose what you put on your skin for it to absorb so that it's not absorbing stuff from the environment that is not
Yeah.
so good for it. And then supplements, I kind of go back and forth, but I have one that I just love, and that is the collagen peptides in my coffee. So
Yeah.
that's, yeah.
I
And
do
then,
that too. Yeah.
I'll do some vitamin C. I think that's good for helping the collagen. Um,
Mm,
and then sometimes I'll do a B vitamin, sometimes not. After the age of about 55, our body doesn't absorb a multivitamin as well. So
mm,
sometimes making sure you get enough fiber to help with absorption or taking fiber supplement can be helpful. Yeah, but and you can experiment with some of those, like the glucosamines are good.
yeah.
Whatever kind of helps you, you think you need. Um, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I do the collagen in my coffee. I've been doing that for a few years now. I
me
love
too.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I also use creatine.
I've used
Um,
that too. I like that. Yeah, I gotta get
yeah.
some more.
Yeah. I feel like that really does help with my strength.
Yes, I think you're right about that. Yeah, I have to
Yeah.
reorder that. Yeah.
But yeah, and then yeah, like you said, I try to take a multivitamin or calcium. It's not a every single day thing for me. It's when I remember, or some days I'll take some things and not others when it comes to the
Yes,
vitamins.
exactly. Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
And I think I eat pretty much everything. I'm allergic to avocado and bananas. I don't eat those. But I I think that when people get overly uptight about, oh, I can't eat this and I can't eat that and I have to this and I have to that, then you start to stress about that. So
yeah,
I think if you have a generally good diet, and then you have a little bit of, treats or something that's not so good occasionally, you're going to be fine because you're not stressing out about being this purist on some kind of
right.
a diet. Yeah, unless there's
Yeah,
a reason, like if somebody is celiac, then they have to avoid wheat products. But otherwise, I don't know. I don't notice anything for myself if I have wheat or not. It doesn't seem to matter. Like some people say they feel differently if they avoid it. I've never noticed that, but
yeah,
maybe, I
yeah.
think everybody is a little different.
Oh, definitely. And I think
Yeah.
you're right about the stressing about what to eat, because the stress
Mhm.
is so bad for you. And then it
Yeah.
releases cortisol and, creates
Yes,
other problems. Like just eat what
exactly.
you feel like eating and don't
Yeah.
worry
And
about
if you're
it.
out at a county fair and they have a hot dog or something that's, what is it, deep fried ice cream or something,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, isn't this about life? Shouldn't you just kind of have fun?
I think so.
I do too. Yeah.
Um, so when it comes to pole, what do
Mhm.
you love about it? What keeps you in
Oh,
the studio?
well, um, I think a few things keep me in the pole. One of them is like in my mind, I'm always thinking about like, I can't do that today, but how could I do that? So my little brain is kind of going like, well, maybe if I just do a little more, so a little baby step, then I can do that. So the trying things, new
Mhm.
things is always keeping me there. And then keeping up with the tricks that I do, and then creating little bits of choreography. I love that. And of course, the friends. I think that
Yeah.
there's nothing better. I mean, I have a pole here, but it's not the same thing as when I
Mhm.
go and you feed off of the energy and you give them your energy,
Yeah.
and you help somebody. Again, there I get a chance to help somebody, and
Mhm.
sometimes somebody helps me. But I think I get more when I actually help somebody than anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'm
love that.
able to, yeah. But the
And I
friends,
agree. Sorry, go ahead.
know the activity. Uh-huh.
Yeah. My pole at home, I almost never use it. I see it, it's right in my living room. Like I
Yeah,
walk past it a million times a day, but I don't feel as strong on my pole at home, and I
yeah.
think it's because like it's the energy is not
The
here,
energy.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes such a difference.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's the only way you can do it is to do it at home, then
Exactly.
it's better than nothing. But if you can get to a studio, so anybody who's
Yeah.
listening that's thinking about doing pole, and I talk a lot to women who are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, who think it's cool or interesting, but are like, it's not for me. I can't do that. And I always say, well, you can try. Yes, you can
Yeah.
do it. Like I didn't know I could do it until I tried to do it. You didn't know you could
No?
do it until you decided at 57 to give it a go,
Yeah.
You'd be
Yeah. Well,
surprised at what you're capable of.
and the thing about it at home is there's a lot of distractions. And I know for me,
That's
I have
true.
two standard poodles that are like, oh my
Yeah.
God, I'm gonna fall on them, you know. Um, but they can't climb the pole. But so there's a lot of distractions, and it does take you. I warm up when I go to the studio, so it
Yes.
takes that time. You have to set that aside and tell everybody in your household that don't bother me. I'm going to be doing this, and really be dedicated at home. I think it takes more of a commitment to do
Yeah.
it at home. And like I say, there's always some distraction that happens for me
Right.
that's harder to do it. But I can get in sometimes if I make up my mind and, do something on
Yes.
the floor here. Or
Yeah.
if I am having a performance and I want to go through something the morning of, that's
Yes.
helpful too. Yeah.
That's like what I use it for too. Or if I'm sitting around and thinking about a combination or a transition or some piece of choreo that I'm wondering, would that work? Sometimes I'll just go to my pole and I'll try it.
Yeah.
Just to
Yeah.
see, because it's driving me nuts in my mind. I'm like, I think you could go from there, that to that.
Yeah.
That should work. And I don't want to wait till I go to the studio. So I'll just go to my pole.
Yes.
But I'll do it
That's
like
right.
twice and then I'm done. It's
Yeah.
not like in
Oh,
the
I know.
studio, I could stay for hours.
Oh, yeah, yeah, a good open pole session, or I like to take a class also because the class is
Mhm.
helpful. It kind of makes me do things that I normally wouldn't do.
Yeah.
It moves it.
Mhm.
No, I don't know that I could do that. And I find out that yes, I can do it, or I can do some of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good to take a class. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. I right now I'm actually in the dance program at Santa Monica College. So I'm taking 2 dance classes. After we record this today, I have 4 hours of dance class at Santa Monica College this
Oh
evening.
my
So
gosh.
yeah, this semester I'm doing a lot. So I don't have as much time as I usually have to go to the pole studio and I'm to take a class and I miss it. I miss those
Yeah.
classes.
Yeah.
Because that's where I
And
do grow. Because it gives me ideas, like you said, the instructors push you to try something that you weren't necessarily considering doing. And you realize, oh, I could do it, or I
yeah.
could do part of it, or yeah. So I feel like I grow when I go to class.
Yes, I do too. And I also want to mention that, designing the costumes actually led to me having a pole dance line. And so I started to design this one bottom. Let me show you. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this one is the high waist booty short.
Cute.
You can see that. But
Yeah.
I originally designed it because I thought, well, a lot of women don't want to run around the studio with their tummy hanging out, especially when you're older and you've had a kid or two, or just, maybe a few pounds or something. And then
Yeah.
I found out that the younger, really fit women wanted it too because it could be pinup-y and sexy, or it was the
Yeah.
most versatile piece. And when somebody went to do a jade split, they just folded it down, and then they
Ah,
had a lot of skin on the pole. So that led to designing all kinds of things. So now I have a full line of pole wear, and I'm opening up some studios that are carrying it. So it's a work in progress because the marketing part of it is a big challenge for me
yes.
to market it and kind of just get that as a full-time job, marketing the
Yeah.
stuff.
Are
Yeah,
you
and I love.
selling them online? Can somebody?
Yeah, yes, they
Okay.
can go to marycaryldesigns.com. My
Okay.
name, MaryCaryl designs.com, and they can pick them up there.
Awesome. So I will put in the show notes for the episode the
Mhm.
link to marycaroldesigns.com. And if it's okay with you, I'll put the link to your Instagram also so
Yes,
people
that would
can
be good. I
see.
have two Instagrams. One is for the designs and one is for,
Okay.
yeah, Mary Caryl Designs and then Mary Caryl Glam. And then also, if they would like, I'll give you a code that they can go and get 20% off a one-time purchase. So that would
Awesome.
be PCW 2025. PCW
PCW 2025.
2025. And that would give them one-time purchase of 20% off.
Ooh,
I know.
lucky
I know.
us. I'm going to
Yeah.
go get some of the high waist booty shorts.
You know what? They're my best seller. I have a one called Babs. Well, here's a Babs. Let's see.
Let's
Yeah.
see. So if you're
Yeah.
not watching the
Here's
podcast
the
and you're listening,
Babs.
you're going to want to go look at the video.
Yeah, here's
Ooh,
the Babs. Yeah, this one actually is a large, so I make it all from extra small to extra large, and it has a
okay.
scrunch back. And I call
It's
it Babs
cute.
because that means bare ass bottom. So those that like to have their glutes showing, this does that. And then here would be like a keyhole top, It's kind of hard to hold
Ooh,
these things up,
I
but
love
yeah.
that color red
Oh,
also.
I love this color too. Yeah,
Beautiful.
there's lots of colors and things, and then there's another one if it's here. Oh yeah, here. Okay, this one is, I actually love this one myself because I roll around on my tummy a lot. It's the banded
Uh-huh,
bikini, and it's designed so that you don't get muffin top, because sometimes wearing
uh-huh.
something in a bikini area can cause that. So you won't
Yes.
get that with this. Yes. So
Okay, so
yeah, there's lots of things. Yeah,
you've
lots of
thought
different
about what
colors and
yeah. Oh, I love it. Okay, I'm gonna go to the website and check it out when we're done.
okay, yeah, well, yeah, it's takes a lot. When I design the things, I hand cut the patterns myself. So I'm actually, if I need to scrunch out a little more room in the crotch or whatever I need to do, add a little bit, take a little away, I'm doing it by hand. It's not done digitally. So the fit is
Wow.
good. And then the next step is to make it myself, or if I don't have the machine to finish some of the binding, I'll have my gal make it. And then I try it
Mhm.
on real women because real women can tell me, oh, this feels great, or no, it's a little tight here, or it's a little loose here. So I'm able to see it on them and they can give me feedback on what it feels like on them. And then I'll help
Yes.
them do like a little, like whirl around the pole a little bit to see how
Uh-huh.
it behaves. Yeah. So I try to make it so that people get a really good fit, really good quality fabrics, which is important to me. And then the gal that does my production knows that I like a nice quality construction. Yeah.
Amazing. Mary, you are amazing. You do so much.
Sometimes too
The
much.
chocolates, the traveling, the pole, the design, the creation. I mean, oh my goodness, you're
Yeah.
busy.
Well, this has been a
And
busy
the
year. I've
poodles
got
and the kitty cats.
the poodles. We added the new one right after Christmas. And
Mm,
I don't know if you've ever had a 2.5-month-old puppy, but a puppy for the first year of its life is like having a toddler.
uh-huh.
It's a lot of work. And especially, I like to get them. I love it when people rescue them. I'm all for that. We need both. We need to preserve the purebred lines and we need to rescue. We need both.
Mhm.
But I like to train them from the get-go so that I know what their experiences are, so I can
Yeah.
control their behavior and, give them the proper instruction, so that they don't end up, um, with fears and things like that.
Sure.
So, yeah, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And yeah,
It is
she's
a lot of
finally
work.
passed the 1 year mark. So that, and then this year I had 4 performances and then 5 trips, none out of the country, but it still was a lot of
That is a
trips and
lot.
performances. Yeah, it really
So
was. And
where else did you perform? I know you did the 2 comedy pool shows.
yeah,
And what
and then
else?
I did one in South Carolina for a pole studio out there. My sister moved there a couple years ago, so I go once a year to this pole studio or this organization, and so I
Mhm.
perform there. And then I performed for the jazz live jazz band pole show in
Oh, you
July.
did?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
with
did that
with
one.
Li Melissa Ladybug?
Yeah, with Melissa Ladybug.
Oh,
And in fact,
okay.
I love that music so much that
Yes.
I'm now redoing it for Polar Italy in the spring. And I have
Wait,
some
what's Pole Art
ideas.
Italy? What is
Oh,
that?
yeah. I've done that too. I didn't do that last year, a couple of reasons, because I got the new puppy and I had injured my shoulder within the year, and I thought, no, I can wait, because when you do a polar Italy, you need to be on top of your game, and I didn't want to fudge out any moves because my
Yeah.
shoulder wasn't up to it. And it's back. My shoulder is good. Again,
Okay.
it's just like if you get injured, you have to. I knew when I injured myself, I knew that it was going to be a year.
Yeah.
And so I just, did the right things to get it back in shape. And sure enough, it's fine. Yeah, but
Oh, I
the
love it.
body wants to heal. So you have to
Mhm.
let it heal. Yeah.
Yep.
But I'm so excited about the pieces Besame Mucho,
Oh, I love
which
it. I love
I
that
do
song.
too. And
Yeah.
I was asked to do like the backstory behind Besame Mucho, which I never did know. And so I looked into it, and it's so interesting. It's kind of sinful, actually. It was
Yeah.
created by a 16-year-old girl, Consuelo Velasquez, in Mexico. And she had never been kissed. She was from a very strict Catholic family, and kissing was sinful, it was taboo. So you
Mm.
didn't lust and dream about kissing me a lot. I mean, that's basically
Yeah.
that's kissing me a lot is what it means. And so she created this piece for it. And well, now the rest is history, because I think it's got to be one of the most recorded songs. Even the
Yeah.
Beatles recorded it.
They did? I
They
have not
did.
heard that.
They recorded it. It went right before they were big. They recorded it for some kind of an audition. And it is
Oh,
online. You can actually Google it and find
oh
it.
my gosh.
I know, and they didn't make whatever it is, they didn't get it, but there is a rendition of them doing Besame Mucho before they were really known.
Oh
Uh-huh.
my gosh, how
Yeah,
funny.
so
I'll have to
it
look.
is, it's got, so I have lots of ideas for this costume and everything. I'm like, I can't wait to bring this to life.
So what is, are you, it's in Italy? You're traveling to Italy for it?
Yes, yes, I'll be
It's a,
traveling
is
to
it a
Italy.
competition or is it just a show?
It's a competition. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
so.
That's incredible, Mary. How
Yeah,
cool.
so I've got a lot of work to do after the holidays. Gonna have Thanksgiving dinner here, which is always fun, and then, Christmas, and then I'll get down to work after the holidays and start on with my ideas of the costume. And it has a dress that comes off, so it's a really gonna be a really pretty dress. I'm so excited about it, and it
Wow.
comes off. It's just going to be fastened right here in the front, V-neck
Uh,
fastened. Boom. You know how that goes.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
wow. Oh, I can't wait to see your video after it's all said and done.
yeah. Yeah, and then I come home, and then my daughter and her company have invited us to as guests to the Kentucky Derby. So
Ooh,
they'll be making a hat for me, as I've been told. And yeah, I've never been,
no,
so that should be really
me
fun.
neither. Well, you have a lot to look forward to. It's a
Yeah,
lot of stuff
yeah.
coming up. That's
Yeah, I
great.
just gotta take a deep breath, stay healthy, and or get healthy after this little
Yeah.
bout of the cold.
Yes. Yes. We need you to be healthy and strong so you can keep doing all of these cool things.
Yeah.
Making the chocolate for, or the candy for the holidays, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So started that. Yeah.
Very exciting. Well, I'm looking at the clock, and unfortunately, I think we're coming up towards the end of our time together. But is there
Uh-huh.
anything else that you just feel like you wanted to share with maybe women who are your age or
Yes,
my
I do.
age or
There is something else. You know, my daughter's she's 41.
Mhm,
So, and a lot of my friends are in their early 40s, and I see where, women are coming from, there's like phase one where you're a young woman, like 20s to 30s, and kind of just everything's in place. And then things start to change all around, physically we're actually more beautiful as we get older and a little
mhm,
more sensual, and that shows up, say, 35 and beyond. And yet at the same time we're struggling with like changes that, sometimes there's a new wrinkle, there's a new, like, redistribution of some of the weight or some
mhm,
of these things. And so I'm hearing that from women, and how to address that, how to go through that. And I think that the one piece of advice I can give them is to know that nothing ever stays the same, and that
mm,
when you go through these changes, embrace them. And if there's something that you can make better, like, oh, there's a wrinkle, well, let's go get a nice eye cream, something like that. Do those things.
yeah,
Fix the problems as they come up. If the clothes that you wore when you were 20 are no longer your style, or don't fit you well now, get new ones.
mm,
Embrace the new fit and the new you, because you're always constantly, shedding your skin, and there's a new you underneath, blooming, coming forward all the time. And that new one needs attention, and it needs to be embraced and to be given the clothes and the beauty and the hairstyles and the exercise that it needs as it
Mm,
goes through life. So you have to kind of recognize that things are not going to stay the same. And that's why I talk about the soul and the spirit, because that will keep you young, that keeps your face glowing, that keeps your face
mhm.
looking attractive uh, uh, till the day you die. If
Yeah.
you have that beauty in your heart, that love, as opposed
Yes.
to being angry at people or groups or things, just find a way to accept that somebody else has a different way of doing things than you do, and to, live and let live.
Mhm. That's beautiful, and we need more of that in this
Yeah, I think
world.
we do. Yeah, I think
Yes,
we
just
do.
feel more joy in your heart and more love and
Compassion, more joy in the heart, compassion, it shows on your face. It really does. It
absolutely,
does. And, just
absolutely.
maybe talking to somebody, finding out, why they feel like they do, and sharing. Those are really good things to do, to have an understanding, even if you don't see things eye to eye, knowing that you are going to walk away as friends, as you came into it being friends.
Yes, beautiful. Thank
Mhm.
you. That's beautiful advice. And on that uplifting note, we will say goodbye for now. And I would love
Okay,
to have you come back maybe after you go to Italy and you can tell us
sure.
about your
Yeah,
experience.
that would be great. Uh-huh. We'll do it
Yeah,
again. Maybe we can delve into a section of a topic or something,
that would
that
be
see what kind of
wonderful.
reaction your audience gives you and what they want to hear more of, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, okay. Well, until then, I'm going to say goodbye to everybody listening. Thank you for being here. We will see you again soon. Until then, be well.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of Fit, Fierce, and Fearless, powered by Gen X Pole Arts. I hope you feel inspired by the incredible stories of strength and resilience that we shared today. Remember, it's never too late to embrace your potential and unleash your passion. If you enjoyed this episode, please, I would appreciate it if you would take a moment to subscribe, rate, and leave me a review. Your support really helps me to continue to uplift and empower women over 40 in our pole dance community and beyond. Don't forget to connect with me on social media for more inspiration and updates. I'd love to hear your stories and share in your journey. So until next time, keep dancing, keep shining, and remember that your strength knows no age.